Good evening, Caitlin Clark fans. So you knew we would get here, okay? You knew we would come to this. And I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about this tonight, but we're talking about the collegiate draft again. And we've been over this in a video before the CBA was signed. And um, we're going to talk a little bit about it tonight. The mock draft, the mock collegiate draft. Okay. And what the brain trust of sports media is seeing as, just exactly who the Indiana Fever will pick at number 10 of the first round. Now, I'm going to be really honest with you. It hasn't changed all that much since before the CBA was signed, okay? Um, a lot of the experts out there weighing in were making the Indiana Fever choosing guard heavy as opposed to forward heavy, all right? And we all know that what the Indiana Fever really need is a power forward, okay? But I want you to remember this one thing. Whoever they pick at number 10 is probably not a starter, okay? Not happening. Whoever they pick at number 10 is certainly going to have the potential to be a really excellent player in the WNBA, but may not be a starter, okay? They may be looking, one of the things is that with the CBA signed, the question is how long can the Indiana Fever keep the core together, okay, under the current circumstances? Because, you know, Kelsey Mitchell is certainly going to command a lot of money as a player who's been in the league for 8 years now, okay? And you've got Caitlin Clark, who's going to make probably 500,000 next year as opposed to 78,000, and Aaliyah Boston, who is eligible for big money next year. And there's only a $7 million team cap. So that money only stretches so far. So this is why GMs get paid what they get paid. Okay. General managers get paid to work magic. And you've got at least one player in that grouping that will take less money to build a good team. Okay. You have at least one player who will take less money to build a champion. And that's Caitlin Clark. You know that. Okay. So the Fever may be looking down the road beyond the ability to keep Kelsey, Caitlin, and Aaliyah together. All right. Um, Anything can happen now. Okay. Kelsey Mitchell may decide to um, leave for a big contract somewhere else. Okay. That could happen. Um, they have the ability to, under the current CBA, they have the ability to core Kelsey Mitchell for another year and pay her the max and hang on to her for a year and then maybe give her a big contract next year. I don't know. Okay. They could sign Kelsey Mitchell and trade her. We don't know what's going to happen, honestly. I would not like to see that happen, but anything is possible in sports. Okay. The only people they have signed right now for the 2026 season are Aaliyah Boston, Caitlin Clark, and Michaela Timpson. Everybody else is either an unrestricted free agent or a restricted free agent. Okay, we know some people are not coming back. Okay, let's dream about keeping the six really core players. Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, re-signing Lexi Hull. I think that's an absolute positive must. Sophie Cunningham. Okay, there's five right there. You got Michaela Timpson at number 6. I still think she's going to be a great player for the Indiana Fever. Okay, and right now she's on a standard rookie contract. So she will get more money next year as well. So let's look at who the brain trust out there thinks that the Indiana Fever is going to pick at number 10. So we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on this because I'm going to revisit this again at some point. Let's not forget something else. We still have free agency coming up in April, and the Indiana Fever are going to look to free agency if they're going to go get a power forward, a real power forward, okay, a forward who can bang inside, help out Aaliyah Boston, and run the floor and give Caitlin Clark another target, okay? If they're going to do that, and I believe they are, they're going to do that through free agency. They're not going to do that through the draft, okay? They will do that through free agency. Now, there is one person still picking Medina Alcott of South Carolina for the Fever. She is a center. She's a project, but she has a ton of upside. She comes from Aaliyah Boston's alma mater. Okay, so there's some people who still say they're going to pick her. They're going to pick big. Okay, the other picks that they have, I'm giving you four tonight. Okay, there's a whole list of things, but I'm going to give you four tonight. So Medina Arcot, she's certainly not a starter. That's not happening. Okay, but that doesn't mean, she shouldn't be chosen. All right, so let's understand this. Nobody's coming out of college right now looking to start on the Indiana Fever. Okay, one other person picked Kiki Rice, guard, UCLA. Another one picked Raven Johnson, guard out of South Carolina again. Aaliyah Boston's alma mater. And then someone picked Flaugier Johnson, a guard out of LSU, who is certainly going to be an impact player in the WNBA. We'll see if she's around at number 10, okay? So those are the names I managed to pull up tonight. So I'm looking at the mock draft first, but we're going to be looking at free agency. We're going to be looking at the expansion draft. We're going to see who the Indiana Fever will protect. We know Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston are certainly going to be protected. Not a question about that. But there's another thing that's going on that everyone should know about, and that is Caitlin Clark is back. She is healthy. She won the MVP of the FIBA tournament. She is once again all over the place from a media perspective, and teams are now moving their games to a bigger venue to accommodate Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. And we already have 6 teams who have moved their games against the Fever for 2026. And so the Atlanta Dream, they have moved a game to State Farm Arena, home of the Hawks. The Chicago Sky have moved 2 games to the United Center, home of the NBA's Bulls and the NHL's Blackhawks. The Connecticut Sun have moved the game to TD Garden in Boston. So it looks like maybe I'll get to see Caitlin Clark twice this upcoming season, okay? In Boston and in Indianapolis. The Dallas Wings are going to move 1 game to the American Airlines Center, home of the Mavericks. The Las Vegas Aces are going to move 1 game to T-Mobile Arena. And the Washington Mystics are moving 2 games to CFG Bank Arena. So once again, we have movement when it comes to the Indiana Fever being in competition against these teams. They are now being moved into larger arenas. So that's what I got tonight, except for a great highlight reel. Okay, this is of Caitlin Clark's rookie season, but this particular highlight reel is put out by the Indiana Fever because they know we are starving for some excitement when it comes to Caitlin Clark. So I'm going to show you a little bit of this, and as always, this will be in the description of my video in its entirety. This is 22 minutes long. We are definitely not going to watch the whole thing, but here we go.
David and does. And now Clark comes up with a steal. Clark thought about pulling up from three, will dip inside and lay it in. There are the first points in the WNBA career of Caitlin Clark.
Take it at the rim. Here, hesitation. You have to come. Goes her first two.
And it is Caitlin Clark able to clear for Indiana.
Caitlin coming off that 20-point performance right here, handling the physicality of an isolate.
Clark, step back three, knocks it down. Take a look here at a career first.
It's a step back, going right, I may add. It's usually step back, going left.
Here's Clark. Trying to wheel into some space, gives it up. Back Benley lays it in. Fourth assist for Clark.
Is with her head up here navigating, sees that two defenders are bouncing around beautiful because it looked like she was going to take the shot last second. Or just close more quickly.
Clark sips it in. In fact, Benley finishes. What a dart from Caitlin Clark. Bonner gets denied by Boston.
Here it is.
Wheeler finds Clark from the logo.
Look at Wheeler staring to the right side, knows who's there, drop pass behind. Could be the deepest shot we've seen Caitlin Clark make as a pro. Big one.
Mitchell, guarded by Harris. Mitchell spinning, finding Clark. 5 to shoot. Clark lays it in. Tie game.
Absolutely blown the roof off.
But playing at UConn, she is used to all of this. Oh, Caitlin Clark, rookie on rookie crime right there in Mule's face. Here's Clark with it. In fact, Benley inside against the taller Mercedes Russell and still gets it to go.
Jackson calling forward and gets it. Here's Hamby on the post. Against Samuelson, stripped away, picked up by Clark. Clark, the feet underneath. Back Benley working against your room. What a move there. Channel defense by the Sparks fans. 6 on the shot clock. Clark, a deep three.
Oop, that is!
She missed her first 7 and knocks that one down, and it's a big one.
Gets old. NCAA ranks. We got some score power on the court.
Watch that inside hand, that left hand. Caitlin Clark gets away with a little shove inside, creates that space. That's putting up some buckets.
It sure was. Top 4 scorers at the college level here in this one as Caitlin Clark, and now back-to-back buckets. And Hamby had a clear out.
Giroux turns, ducks in. In fact, Benley stays with her. Blocked from behind. That was Clark. Now Clark looking to push. Cross-court pass. Pull. Back to Clark. She will launch and bury a three. And to open up the second quarter, and Clark doing it with some defense. Comes up with the block. And then Lexi Hull finds her. Fever back within 4. It's been a lot of Caitlin Clark. A steal and a bucket. It's time finding her way around. Brink lobbing it inside. Hamby denied. It's 22, Caitlin Clark.
By Caitlin Clark to recognize 2 bigs, and Alyssa Smith sees that she has a wide open lane to the bucket. Just a great delivery. I mean, putting it on. Horston's got to come with hands up. You can't let Clark see.
There's been many times early in this season where that has not been the case and have allowed too much dribble penetration.
Well, and it allows them. Oh, what a dime. My goodness, the pass from Clark to Katie Lou Samuelson. Had an open look from three, didn't take it. Only three to shoot. Gonna have to make something happen. Clark through the lane, reverses it in, and beats the shot clock.
Like Caitlin had an opportunity to take the shot, instead drives in, and good job here after the travel to turn her back and shoulder.
It's been the second and third quarter that's been the issue for the Liberty, so let's see if they can have a better one here today as Clark finally hits her first shot of the night. It's on Wednesday.
One thing about Caitlin Clark, she's relentless. She's going to keep shooting that ball. You can still establish yourself as a leader, as a future leader for the franchise. And that takes a little bit of perspective.
Jonquel Jones, bit of a...
Here's Clark. Picked up now by Dee Richards as she's into the ball game. Richards on the floor. Clark, the step back three just below the logo, drills it. She's a rookie, and she's 22 years old, the same as her jersey, but those heels were right at the logo.
She wasn't going to be able to see Katie Lou after last night's game, so today, really the first time they're seeing her.
Clark, out of the inbounds. Wow. Oh, my goodness. Let it fly. CC.
This is fun.
For three. Again. Oh, my goodness. We get paid.
Arrington off the mark as Clark steps into a three. Connecticut, second last in the league in three-point percentage, just under 29%. Clark heaves and rattles one in. Back and forth they go from deep. A gauntlet to begin her career.
No shot is too far away from the rim for Caitlin Clark. Carrington gets caught underneath the screen from Boston.
She's setting up aerial power. She's coming off a pin down. An excellent screen by Nalissa Smith. She takes a piece of Powers off the...
For Indiana, you're expecting maybe an initial surge. Clark on the drive, gets to the rim and the finish.
Really great read by Caitlin.
And Christy Sides told us we have got to find a body on Reese. Clark gets freed up from up top.
12 points in the game. Allen gets blocked. Fever looking for numbers. Clark to Wallace. Back to Clark. Shovel pass busted.
Look at that. Good stuff.
She's needed a game like this. Her last four, shooting 29% from three. Gets blocked by Clark. Feet under her shoulders and launch.
Clark from the blind side. The steal and a bucket. Wallace has had four wide open looks from three. They just haven't fallen for her. No whistle there. Van Loo thought she was fouled. Here's Clark off to the races. Ahead for Wallace.
Perfect.
Wheeler. Clark launches. Hits a three.
This will be their third. Caitlin Clark asks for the ball, and that's why. She has done throughout her career at multiple levels. Tina Charles just had 2 points against Indiana in their last possession, but Caitlin Clark.
Clark trying to shake free Mabry all over. Here is Clark. Clark separating, taking, and hitting. Caitlin Clark with a difficult look from deep. Indiana on an 18-3 run as Clark directs traffic. Clark lobbing it in. What a find. And Boston the finish. A delectable dime from Caitlin Clark. Boston, who also has a 15-5-5 game today. Here's Clark. Catch, fire, and connect. Fifth three in the game for Clark.
Can't get it to go. All of a sudden, that 6 of 10. Not looking so hot anymore. And the baseball pass down court and with passing. Look at this.
This is a pass that not very many players can make from behind the free throw line on the money, but they're not going to do that. And with Noelle Quinn, as you mentioned, no challenge.
Clark, three ball in the way, and good. Boy, that cost Seattle 3 points, and they should have never had the ball there.
Reiner has it come off. Clark with the pull. Boston with a nice rim run. Christine, a little bit earlier, I asked Diana, what was your playing weight at UConn? She said 180. I said, what's your playing weight now? She said 155.
Well, there were a
25 pounds.
few factors that
Everything but the bucket that time for Phoenix.
good job by Cunningham to quickly get on Clark.
Clark sinks the screen and got the layup and one.
He's going to be trailing on this. Watch right here. This is jail. Great screen by Boston. She holds the contact. Now Clark trying to make something happen. Behind the back. Shoots the basket and gets her first field goal in style. Clark launches, nails it. 3 and some change left to play here in the first quarter. Caitlin Clark pulls it back, knocks it down. Her third 3 of the quarter. Yeah, you got to be careful when you're going at Stewart. And how about this for another creation of her shot? And Jonquil Jones had the final say. First lead for the Liberty that didn't last long as Smith puts the Fever back on top. Clark, as we mentioned, only 3 points in the second half. She had 13 in the first half, but has picked up a triple-double here today and gets the and one.
You know, I'm sorry, but people, she is not just a great player. She is outrageous. It's just there's no one even comes close. All right. I think people forget just exactly what she managed to do in her rookie season. And the only reason she didn't improve on her rookie season last year was because she only played 13 games. And even though she only played 13 games, they managed to find 25 minutes of highlights in those 13 games where she was just as outrageous. So the notion that Caitlin Clark is not going to be a monster in 2026 is a ridiculous notion. She most certainly is. All right. She is going to be, she's already chomping at the bit. Okay. We already saw after being out of action for almost 8 months, we already watched her come back and win the MVP of the FIBA tournament. Okay. This is not the first time she's won that, by the way. She won that in the U19 tournament. She is the real deal. And she is going to be great in 2026. And I, for one, cannot wait. That video in its entirety will be within the description of my video. And I will also post this in the Facebook group. You guys have a great night. I will be back tomorrow. I'll be doing some more digging about some stuff we can talk about for 2026. And I will see you all then.